We'll stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Just a second.
Got it? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the minutes, you're gonna have quite a few
We got a lot of corrections. I mean,
Lot of
we wanna
corrections.
we want to maybe go through that a little bit later.
Later
or
on.
It might take a little bit of time to go through it.
Yeah, why don't we, can we just?
That's my
come back to
suggestion.
that?
We got a couple paragraphs to at least go through.
Okay. Do you have any committee or commissioner reports?
I have none.
I have juvenile correction Thursday. It'll be interesting. Lucas, I can't recall. Yes, he is the new director of juvenile corrections. This will be our first meeting with him. So we'll see how that goes Thursday, and we go to Leavenworth. New business. We want to meet November the 1st here to do the webinar. We said 9 or 10. Do we want to be more specific on the time? 10. That'll give us out 11:30. You want to go 9?
I think 10
Regular?
would be fine. I think 10 o'clock would be fine.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock, and then we need to notify the department heads if they would like to attend. It's approximately an hour and a half webinar on, what was it, leadership? What was
No,
it?
it was Open,
Kansas Open Meetings Act
yeah,
training, isn't it?
Open Meetings Act?
Open record.
Open Records Act, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any new business? Seeing none, any old business before the board? Seeing none, county councilor updates.
The arbitration with AT&T is filed. They have 21 days, I believe, to file a response. But it's officially filed. You had asked me to get a Q&A
Yes.
typed up, and it is not typed. I'm kind of working on what I remember
Okay.
here, but it's not typed yet. That's all I have.
Oh, for the EMS. Okay.
Do you think that should come out before we hire the new director, or kind of coincide with that?
Maybe at the same time.
I think it'd be kind of a kickoff, maybe, type of deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. I mean, early, I don't think, even if we did it before we hire the director, it's probably not a bad idea. I think there's just some questions. I think usually, like, you get around January 31st is kind of the biggest question. A lot of people, what's that transition? But I think just see what council drafts up and then kind of go from there. Maybe by next week you'd have it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Look at it
Yeah, I
next
think we
week.
could do it anytime.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is drafting some questions and answers to our potential or eventual takeover of the EMS ambulance service, and what people through the county will have different questions about, and answers about, when the service, how it will be taken from tech to the county, and what it entails. We're not going to change any service or levels of service or anything, but we want to put this out just for public awareness.
One of the biggest things that we thought we could improve the service and be some cost savings, and that's what our goal is to improve the service and cost savings with the county taking over. Next on the agenda will be executive session. I suggest that we put that on later on if we need to have one.
We can do the FCE
Yeah.
proclamation.
Yeah, we want to, who wants to be Mrs. Lorenz is the, it's a little bit early, but we will go ahead and.
Thank you for seeing us today. We're representing the Atchison County FCE Council, and this is National FCE Week, and so that's why we're asking for the proclamation. If you'd like for me to read it, I can. Whereas Kansas Association for Family and Community Education is an independent nonprofit organization instituted for the purpose of enriching Kansas families, and whereas the mission of family and community education is to assist people in making decisions and enriching the quality of individual, family, and community living through research-based education in the following areas: continuing education, developing leadership, community action. Whereas there are 40 active FCE members in Atchison County and a total of 1,053 members in the state of Kansas and approximately 4,000 nationwide who are benefiting from the continuing education received through family and community education. Now, therefore, the week of October the 9th through the 15th, 2016 is hereby proclaimed as Kansas Family and Community Education Week. In recognition and appreciation of Kansas Association for Family and Community Education members' contributions to the state of Kansas, all residents are urged to take proper cognizance thereof. Witness this 11th day of October in the year 2016.
Any questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion that we proclaim or sign off on this proclamation declaring what she just stated.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank
Do
you.
have
Thank
any
you.
questions of us?
What are some activities that you do in the community? I'm just kind of curious.
We're involved in making quilts and things for the foster children's program through the state of Kansas. Help me out, ladies, what else? Doves. Yes, we contribute to Doves.
Okay.
We also make donations to the food pantry in Atchison County.
We do a contest for essay, we have a contest for an essay and poster contest for the 4th grades at Atchison Community Schools. I did that last year and they've accepted us to do it again this year.
The theme is bullying.
No,
Different
well,
things.
last year was fairness. It's caring this year, caring.
Okay.
But it's character counts, this is the program.
Okay.
And we've taught lessons that were offered to,
Yes, we've had Alzheimer's lessons, and we participated
Oh, wow.
with the fair, had a booth and did different things and involved the community that way.
Okay.
And barn painting, some ladies came and showed how to do the barn quilt pieces for the barns.
I was gonna say, you do barn painting, I'll put my name down.
Actually, the quilt block.
Yeah,
hung
barn
on
quilts.
the barn. So,
That's great. I just
Diane
curious.
wanted to say something, I believe.
I'm gonna kind of, and these ladies don't know anything to it, but FCE, Family Community Education, they're kind of unsung heroes in our community. Atchison County in the last year as an extension agent, I can tell you, our family well-being has gone from 92nd in the state to 97th in the state. So if I play that out long-term, it's not good for the quality of life in our community. But as they humbly talk about making quilts, what they really are doing, foster care, they're connecting those kids, they're giving each one of them, as they go from home to home, a blanket that they can identify with. They didn't talk about they knitted purple hats for babies out at the hospital for shaken baby syndrome. These ladies, later this week I'm going to do a lesson on gluten, but they kind of have reached their prime and they graduated, but they keep coming to those lessons, not so much for self-improvement, because they kind of live that FC way, but they tend to drag their neighbors. I can tell you, as they do lessons a year later in the community, you're going to be hearing other people, those lessons, oh, I was at a church dinner and Evelyn said this, or those kinds of things. So they're a real multiplier in community, and so that's why I call them unsung heroes. If you look at Main Street, Effingham, it wasn't the greatest year for flowers, But those pots on Main Street came out of these ladies' pockets, fundraising, bake sales, because they believe in community. So I think Atchison County needs strong families if we're going to have quality of life. We need education. That's what these ladies are about. And that work has to be done in community. So without them, our community is not going to be as good of a place to live. And so they really are unsung heroes because they really don't care about the recognition. They care about families in our communities. And so with that, as they do the proclamation this week, yes, I want to salute them, but also make you aware as public officials and community leaders of that work that quietly happens on Main Street. You're going to see flags in Effingham hung, and it's not just Effingham, but I can pick on those things because maybe I spend a little time. They're going to be the ones that hang those flags. And so the question is, if they're not going to do it, who does that? And yet they're looking for that future, trying to get that young mothers that information, looking at it different ways to deliver. So I hope you join me in saluting them today.
Very good. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
The list.
You want to go back to the minutes now?
Yeah, we should probably go through those.
We didn't need more than one of those copies signed, did we? Okay. We can just get a copy made if it's, did she take that one?
No, it's
Okay. Because we had a copy.
I got a copy of my minutes.
Okay, we're back to minutes. Who wants to start off? Quite a few corrections. Might be easier just to start from scratch and picking out what we know and
Okay. I think on this paragraph, starting with the words Bob Haniff, I think there's some things that could just be, that's kind of I think you can just delete like corner from Kane property and then Brush East Side, because we have the address.
Okay.
I mean, it just, it's hard to read. Maybe some punctuation like a period there after now, and then just so we can read, it's readable.
Well, I think the last line, what it talks about is it shows his address, but we started talking about culverts.
that's his home address.
Yeah.
That's not the address of this road,
Yeah.
nor the problem with the township, what they did on it.
So the 5240 Sherman isn't the place
No.
where the tubes are?
Well,
I think that's Bob's actual house.
yeah, you may say like Bob Haniff Sr. who lives at 5240 Sherman Road. That's probably how I would start out the whole paragraph.
Mr. Hanson, who lives at,
This address.
Yeah.
That's the correct address.
You gonna mention something about his daughter on the inside, or?
Yeah, she could be. Yeah, he could leave that. I just meant that first, right in front of that.
And then where is the location of where they put the tubes in? Isn't that
At 254th and that's at 254th and Sherman, isn't
That's
it?
254th and Sherman.
Yeah.
254.
You know, you're right, so that wouldn't be Bob's address.
No, he lives just south of there, doesn't
South
he?
of
Yeah.
254th.
Yeah. So his
It'd be
address.
something Sherman, was it?
Well, it's filling. I mean, it could be the whole.
So this here
He was talking about that
We may
whole
have to redo that again. 'Cause
entrance too. I mean, he was talking about two different issues.
Bob Haniff, who lives off of Sherman Road.
254th and Sherman, could say it afterwards?
Well, just Mr. Haniff, we don't need his address in there. I mean, we don't need to list where he lives.
No, that's true too.
Just say, we've already got who it is, so just say, Mr. Haniff discussed where Walnut Township put in and put tubes in. Which is 254th and Sherman?
Well, it just identify. You know, he stated it. Just identifies that he is a Atchison County resident. I guess.
So, leave in his address or not?
Well, I just was thinking it was an identifier that he was an Atchison County resident. That's pretty common. I know we'll have it in a lot of other minutes. I'm not.
People's address, okay, that's fine. But the 5240 is his address or is not?
Yes.
It is.
I'll make these changes if it's not right, how you want it.
There's
there's
several others.
Yeah, okay.
Did you want something about, you saying about the policy in the county, you wanted that?
I did ask that question. You know,
I know,
what
but
policies
you said you
we.
wanted to reword it or something, didn't you? The last sentence.
Wanted to know what is. Oh, probably wanted to know, do we have a policy when townships work on roads jointly with, you know,
Well, that affect county roads.
yeah,
Correct.
effect, yeah.
Okay, do the policy when.
Well, they basically changed the course of the waterways, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought
Yes,
was.
when
a step
townships
when he
do
was up
work
there.
that affect county roads. Okay, I think the other paragraph that we had, oh, we're done with that one?
The big one is this one right here, that all.
This here, the next page where it starts off for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that we talked about this here, unreconcilable bank balance ought to be struck and discuss the significant deficiency. What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah, appeared to discuss the significant deficiencies in the 2015 audit.
I don't know if I'd use the word significant, because it was $2,000.
No, it was
20,000.
23,000.
That's what's listed in the audit. It's listed as a significant
I
deficiency.
thought one was
No, it's 21,000 or 23,000 of the figures.
that's 2,000.
No, 21,000 or 23,000 difference. Those figures in that, yes.
Yeah, but I thought Sheila showed that we have a balance of 23,412, and Melanie Tuttle showed we had a balance of 21.
Oh, you're talking
No,
about the difference, yeah, but the total,
The difference between what the bank shows and what Atchison County shows is that was up for discussion. Our treasurer states that $23,412.79 less. The bank is showing that is what we have less than we actually have on our ledgers.
and the audit, Melanie had came up with a figure of 21,626, but that was
Correct.
not necessarily, there may have been, what was the words that, there may have been unreconciled, so she
So I
suggested
took
going
it that we
with.
was talking the difference of 2,000, but we're talking the difference of 23,000 or
Yeah.
21,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the.
Okay, I took that
yeah.
wrong, and well then. yeah.
So appeared, yeah. Account, and then she has been, well, then it's a comma, she has been having a balance.
Of $23,412.79 on the books for several years. Then I thought,
Yes.
period there, and then say Sheila has talked with Melanie.
Well, yeah, really, I mean, she's been reconciling the county and the bank with a balance of
Mm-hmm.
23,000,
Yes.
you know, on the books for, she's had 7 years. I know it says several, but she was, you know, she's been treasurer for 7 years. She said 7 years. I think she's been, I think 2009. She was treasurer. I'm pretty sure she said 7 years. Since she thought it was somewhat before her time, so she's been treasurer 7 years. So in 7 years, she's been reconciling the ledger account.
So we want to strike several and say 7?
Yes.
The way I took that would read better on the books for 7 years, period, and then
Yeah.
capital
correct.
Sheila has talked with Melanie on the matter. Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
Melanie, make sure we've had Melanie Tuttle, our auditor, just so if somebody reads this, they don't.
Yes.
So let me add, Sheila's talked with Melanie Tuttle, our auditor.
Yes.
County auditor, yeah.
On the matter.
They thought it was from the time instead of at.
Okay. Talk about that on there.
And computerized system. That way, and period, capital. Yeah.
Okay. She did email, okay? She did email Melanie.
Yeah, concerning the difference of what she had and what
I
was
think
in
the
the
she should be
audit
Sheila.
letter.
Sheila emailed Melanie. Shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it sound better if you said
Yes.
Sheila emailed versus she did email
Correct.
Melanie?
Yeah,
Sheila emailed Melanie. Tuttle,
Yeah, concerning the,
difference.
yeah, or,
audit letter, and Melanie said, okay.
yeah, that's all kind of messy, isn't it?
And shouldn't this, Melanie said what she has was as of 12/31, and it should have included some, shouldn't it be unreconciled instead of reconciled?
Correct. Yeah. So I would just say Melanie Tuttle
That Melanie said what she has as, that's all
shows,
mumbled.
yeah, shows that, that's where
Melanie showed as of 12/31,
the 21,626.
yes,
So across it, all that said, what she has is that Melanie shows,
Yeah.
yeah.
and you want Tuttle on that too, right?
Yeah. Shows
As
as of 12/31,
The unreconciled balance was 21,626. Does that sound right?
Well, you're gonna be, are you gonna strike that down here, cause you're gonna be saying the same thing down here?
Yeah, I know. I think we're just gonna clean up the whole
Clean the whole-
paragraph.
okay.
It's really, it's very confusing to read.
the unreconciled balance, and that was her figure of 21,626, you say?
21,626, 626.
Yeah.
Just a period.
I think you can strike all that Sheila wrote in the auditor's letter to the board was difference amount of 21,6. But we'll go.
Where's that?
On down, low, you can strike that whole sentence out.
And then, yeah, Commissioner, to adjust the background.
I think you can stop it. Commissioner Knoll made the motion to authorize the county treasurer to adjust the bank rate settlement in the amount of $23,412.79.
Yeah.
You say what with that?
I think you can strike Sheila Biller back in the auditor's letter to the board. It was a difference amount of 21. We'll go
Yeah,
with that.
correct.
I think you can strike all that because you just said that up above.
Yeah.
From Sheila on?
I'd say so.
Yeah, in the amount of 23,412.79 per 2015 audit report to reconcile
Wait a minute. How much did you strike? We're going per side as a, per county treasurer period, and then starting to
I
strike
think
from
you,
Sheila
I think
to
you,
Buck?
I think you can strike to
Yeah.
correct the book side as a county treasurer. Sheila back in the alternate letter to, I think
Yes.
you can strike all that.
Yeah, strike all that because
Okay, from 23,412, and strike.
in the amount, so starting after the amount of 23,412.79 per 2015 audit report.
Per 2015 audit report.
And then it should have Eric,
To reconcile the county ledger to the bank cash account.
and then on down there, it's got this,
Period.
you second it, but it didn't have Eric making the motion and before our vote.
Well, it was split. I think it had,
Well, see, up here I said I made the motion up here.
yeah, that's
Okay.
where it was all
Oh, okay.
jumbled, yeah.
I see, okay.
Okay, now, to reconcile the county ledger to bank state, what was the
Yeah, to the bank cash account.
Cash count.
bank
Yes.
account? Okay. Okay.
And then it just starts
Okay.
up with Commissioner Shealy second. Yeah. So striking all
So
that.
So
we leave that.
leave all that in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And we already-
Which one?
Well, just from Commissioner Shealy, second with, and then the vote. I mean, that was,
Yeah,
just
because
left that
you're,
alone.
yeah, so you just struck out the,
Yeah.
The line
Yeah.
above it, line 2 lines above it.
yeah, that's
Okay.
cleaned up.
I think that was all, wasn't it?
Yeah, the rest of it. It's enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That changed per 2015 audit. Or is it-
I have that stricken.
So you have that stricken?
Okay, see, I struck that, clear that whole line there.
Okay, you got that. Okay.
Yeah, after 23,412, is that per 2015
Is it audit?
audit report. And then to reconcile county ledger to bank cash.
And then it goes back down to there.
Do you want to have Linda read that paragraph back to us?
To reconcile the county ledger to the bank cash account.
Yes.
You got that, okay.
Yes.
Do you want to read that back to us if you got everything you think now?
Okay.
Just on that one paragraph where the major changes were.
Okay, I have Sheila appeared to discuss the significant deficiency in the 2015 audit. And have the balance of 2341279 on the books for 7 years. Sheila has talked to Melanie Tuttle, our auditor. Is that what you were putting there, our auditor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then,
Atchison County's auditor?
county auditor?
Who?
Our
Our
auditor,
auditor.
Atchison County.
Atchison County Auditor.
Yeah, I would
That
suggest,
sounds better.
yes.
You want to say at least 7 years? Does that-
I don't know if that 7 years is wrong. What if
Yeah,
we put as,
probably at least 7 years.
Okay. At least 7 years?
Mm-hmm.
or Sheila's time as treasurer?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one, how do we put it? On the books for at least 7 years or for,
At least 7 years, I think is fine.
okay. And then I put our auditor having, let's see, where am I at? I'm on mine. Okay. On the matter, they thought it was from the time that the former treasurer went from the manual check writing
So it hasn't
to the computerized
been
system.
reconciled for 7 years?
Sheila emailed Melanie Tuttle concerning the difference of what she had and what was in the auditor letter. Period. Melanie Tuttle, oh, wait a minute. I said she, didn't I? I meant to say Sheila on that. Sheila, I do have that. Sheila emailed Melanie, okay. Melanie Tuttle shows as of 12/31 the unreconciled balance of $21,626. Then I have items related to timing, but it was up to her on the actual amount that needed to be adjusted. Did we change that? Or that?
Mhm.
Right, okay.
And then I have Commissioner Knoll made the motion to authorize the county treasurer to adjust the bank reconciliation in the amount of $23,412.79 per the 2015 audit report. Commission,
To reconcile.
to reconcile, I can't remember what I'm writing, the
County.
county ledger to the bank cash account. Commissioners Shealy, second, and Chairman Poll call for a vote. All voted aye. Motion carried. Did I say that right? Is it all right? Which one? Okay.
That's how I,
Okay. If I don't get something, I might be eating on something.
The only thing I question is at least 7 years. To me, it sounds better, but I'll go with that. That's good enough. But as Ms. Sheila's term as treasurer,
Okay.
Yeah.
or something like
Maybe
that
put
sounds
that
to me
in.
better. Because when it says at least 7 years, that sounds like, well, was it 7, 6, or 5? We really don't know. So
Okay.
I would specify, change that a little bit.
Okay.
to-
Since,
Sure.
since before Sheila Bilderback became treasurer,
Yeah.
Since before Sheila became treasurer,
something like that.
appeared on the books.
Well, we can't. The only
Well,
thing
we
is
don't
we
know.
can't speak for
We
the-
can't speak for,
We
yeah,
can't speak
because we
for
don't
the
know that. We
treasurer.
just,
We're not sure of the origination. That was speculation that there was a unreconciled balance before her, so.
it's come to our notice in Sheila's term as treasurer that there's been discussion.
I think he had it worded good. I mean, I think at least 7 years or time is, isn't that what you
Sure.
said?
At least 7 years,
or at
or
least 7 years.
Sheila, treasurer Sheila Bilderback's time. I don't know.
Or since Sheila Bilderback became treasurer, how about at least 7 years?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
okay.
good.
I believe that was all, wasn't it?
I think so.
You had something about something went to the Globe or something you'd mentioned, Linda?
Oh, just it was written in the minutes. It was the correction from the one before.
Oh, so it was,
Yeah.
it's history now.
Yeah,
Okay.
And I don't mind
I
that.
should
at
have
all.
caught that last Tuesday, I guess.
yeah. Well, as she writes the corrections, I don't know if we need to have the corrections written in each one of the minutes
That
or.
one after, did you talk about that one? That's what making it.
You find another one, Pat?
Well, the one, the paragraph after at 256B.
Oh, yeah,
That one.
Do we need to have that in there? Is that what you're talking about? Take these out?
No, this. Commissioner Sheila asked about making it mandatory, but didn't say what it was.
Oh, so that's on page 2. Yeah, page 2. It's going to
Well,
be
it's the top of that very same page.
3.
It's about the 911 addresses. It's the top of that very same page.
Oh, I see.
I think he was just because it cuts off. I think that's what he was saying. It about making. Oh, what do you call it?
Residents have their addresses posted.
Yeah. Address markers.
Making it
Or,
mandatory for everyone to have what do you call it? Marker,
911 address signs.
911 address markers.
Signs.
Mhm.
Yeah, signs.
I think you better add in there why it's important that we're making it mandatory for their own good, so when they call, the ambulance can find them. Minutes could be crucial. They're not marked, they can't find them. They can't find the residents.
Yeah, I mean, I just to say it, I just asked about it, but I mean, yeah, I mean, for higher visibility for emergency personnel, is that what you're thinking?
You want to add that? What would be?
Well, I think when you tell them that you made the motion it's mandatory, I think you want to tell them why you think it's important to make it mandatory.
Well, I didn't make a motion. I just asked about making it mandatory. I didn't make a. We didn't take a vote on anything. I
No,
don't-
That's
but
true.
He's just explaining.
Yeah, you're
why
right.
You would think that
Yes.
we need to possibly go in that direction.
Correct. Yeah. No, that's great for higher. I would say higher visibility of emergency personnel. Right. To identify an address?
That's a little over their head, I think, talking
Oh,
about. I think we
okay.
better simplify it for,
For higher
Convenience for the-
visibility and
convenience of
quicker
ambulance.
response times?
yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that was with this right here, right, with this, they have 911 address signs.
Do you know,
Yeah.
Pat, is that
And,
something that we should put in
yeah.
that question and
Everyone to
answer
do, to
thing?
have
that
911
we're
address
going to
signs, maybe comma, and for
Make
higher
it
visibility
mandatory
and
for
quicker
everybody to have
response times.
residence for, or is that two different subjects?
No problem.
Could, yeah, they're not, I don't know, they're not directly related,
Mhm.
but they're, I guess it's all related.
What was that I missed?
I was saying, should we have a little explanation of that, like in the question and answer session?
Oh,
Question to the
About the
public, the county
signs,
is thinking
the
about
address.
going to a mandatory 911 address sign. Answer the question for better response time. Well, how'd that woman said it? She said a good time saves lives or something to that effect.
mm-hmm.
Minutes save lives or,
Second save lives. I mean, I know what it's like trying to find an address on a darkened, or even during the day out in the country, you find an address on a house.
and we need to clarify that if their box has already got a sign on it, they don't necessarily have to have this brand new one, do they? Or do they?
It needs to be a reflective sign. Just a painted number sign that isn't reflective at night isn't going to do much good.
So that we need to stipulate that.
Yeah, I think we still got a lot of things to work out with. I mean, the details, and I think we got a lot of
Well,
different
should we go
things.
public with that yet, till we get all them little details?
Well, it was an
worked
open session.
out? That's true, that's
So-
very true.
I think the more we start getting the word out there,
Yeah.
and maybe that will also bring good questions that we need to do more research on.
Simple survey might be a good thing for that too. Could talk
Could we
with
do
Wes
like a
and then-
survey monkey type
Yeah,
thing?
just put something out there and just ask people, kind of give them some open-ended questions on.
Numbering a house, people will think, well, I've got it on my house. Well, when you have to pull up the driveway to find it, you're talking about a lot of time. So,
That's right.
Is there any more additions or corrections to the minutes?
I don't see any.
I don't remember.
Mr. Shea still looking?
I was just looking to see. I was just looking at placement. Sorry, just grammatical stuff.
I guess legally, we couldn't go back and add stuff to the things that was not really discussed, because we thought about these after the meeting, when we said mandatory, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
So-
we did discuss that.
We discussed about mandatory, but we didn't discuss about telling them why we felt it should be mandatory.
We had a little discussion. I mean, I just asked a question, like, it would seem to be more effective to me if we would look at making it mandatory. So I think it just gets it out on the table, just to discuss. But we didn't take any vote, or we just
No.
had a good discussion on.
Okay, with any more additions or correction, I'd entertain a motion we approve as changed.
So moved.
Second.
Then moved and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. I guess we're now executive session. Does anybody need executive session?
What?
No. That's just the timing,
Pardon me?
zipping through.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a short meeting today, so
I really wasn't aware of what all the
You're
FCE
happy?
did. That's why I asked. I was just kind of curious what they did.
they do a lot of, my mom was in it and she had a big X on the thing that they do a lot of hobbies and crafts and within the organization, and
Yeah, sounds like they're doing some stuff for
they're doing
foster
more.
kids. And,
Yeah, they're doing more.
That's good
yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, that is all that's on the agenda, so
I don't know whether this would be exactly pertinent. It may need to be separated out. We were talking about the questions and answers for the EMS, but I think maybe at some point there needs to be maybe some discussion with potential, the EMS, the EMTs and paramedics are kind of maybe a little bit worried about where things are going. I mean, they're not exactly sure how things are going to shake up. Do we address that? Do we or can we talk to them yet, or put any questions out?
I think
or-
that question was asked to Wes, and he relayed to him that they all got jobs, but they have to open it up, and they got to
I was talking to an individual yesterday, and his wife works for tech, and she's kind of nervous, kind of seemed like she isn't for sure of where this is all going. And I said, well, if we're going to open up and for everybody to apply, and we have no reason to not accept every application, and look it over thoroughly. I mean, we have no problem with any of the people that are currently working for tech if they choose to come to the county. I didn't see really where maybe the worry, but I think anything new brings up worry. I can see their point too. But I didn't know if there was anything we could do to put out a flyer or anything.
I would suggest refraining just until we get a director hired.
that's-
Because that kind of supersedes
Mm-hmm.
the person's
But
authority
I
over even.
also don't think it'd hurt for one of us or Wes to tell them what we're going. Right now, we don't foresee much of a change, but the county administrator is not hired at this time, and that will be part of their job to do. But at this time, we don't see anybody losing their job.
The way I worded it, the county is in the process of hiring a director to manage the ambulance service. The new director will be responsible for obtaining necessary licensure for the service, as well as the development of medical protocols and operating procedures. In addition, the director will be in charge of hiring staff to operate the service. All current EMS personnel are encouraged to apply for employment with the county. We anticipate that substantially all of the current employees will become county employees. The employees will be eligible for employment benefits, including health insurance and keepers retirement.
That sounds very
That's
good.
very good, and I don't think it'd be bad to have 2 of those copies made, and we post it at the Atchison station and at the Effingham station.
Yeah, I think that.
That covers a pretty good spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say substantially all, and then it doesn't guarantee
Correct.
everyone, although.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, there are a couple of employees that maybe aren't interested in working for the county, so,
That's their choice. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
that would be their choice.
Putting that out at the 2 county facilities, would that be stepping on tech any, or?
No, I think we should talk to them about doing it too. From everything I can tell, they want this to be a smooth transition as well. So,
Okay, well, maybe we
It'd probably
can send
be a
them a
good
copy
idea.
of that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just don't want there to be, a misunderstanding of that.
I haven't heard any rumors of them. I'm sure they're wish they continue, but I think they're businessman enough to know that we had to do what we had to do, why we did what we did. Have we had of course this may not be open session, have we had the hearing on the former KFC taco building yet?
Oh, the.
No, and there's not one scheduled that I know of.
Oh, I thought she said she had a hearing.
Oh, she might have had a small claims hearing.
Well, I think the BODA.
Yeah, if it's a small claims hearing, I'm not involved with this, so I don't know.
Well, if Seth was here, we could go on a tour of the roads, some of the things that you've heard and some of the things that I've seen, but being he's not here, I don't know if it'd do any good to go tour those roads or not. Because you're aware of the problems on your particular roads, and I'm aware of the problems on our particular roads, in my district.
I would say that might be something good for near future is when we have time to just go out and maybe even kind of spot some problems, jot down the addresses so then we're not trying to think of them on the fly.
Yeah.
Anything that we need to be, think needs to be looked at or double checked. These ones that we were mentioned earlier that were on Sherman Road, be some maybe good idea to go down and see them.
Are you aware of any policy when the township, any township, does any work that affects the county road system?
Has Seth said anything about the loader? You know, we had signed off on doing repair work on that one loader, which was I think mainly for the salt building. And it was a transmission or something. I haven't heard if that repair has been done yet.
I think it was at the facility when he brought it up, wasn't it?
It was
Wasn't
still
it?
there. I didn't know if they had to take it in or whether it was going to be
3,000 or
done
something. Yeah.
on site. But I haven't heard if that's been finished or not.
Have you had, commissioners had a chance to see the new salt building?
I driven by, I haven't really
I
tried
haven't
to
been
inspect
in.
it.
Keep these with that. Or, yeah, Linda needs that. Do we want to put some dates on the calendar and get with the city about having a city-county meeting? I think it's county's turn to host. You want to wait till after the election, probably, before the first of the year?
Yeah, I'd say probably after KAC, which 15th,
Seems like in November we usually have one with them.
Yeah, we
like
got,
the week of our meeting date is 22nd that week, maybe.
it would be the 15th, 22nd, or 29th. You're going to be going 15th, so it'd be the 22nd or the 29th.
Do we usually do that in the evening, the night before? Do
Seems
do
like we
that
usually
the-
do it in the evenings. We always do this on an evening. Do you know if they meet on 21st?
Oh, they probably do, I don't know.
I do believe we'll have to change our regular meeting from November 15th to November 14th because the KAC starts on the Tuesday. So that will need to be,
Well, you'll probably have to canvass votes on the 14th.
Yep.
So if there's
Oh,
any,
yeah, that will work out good anyway.
any action to take or any, if there's anything
Okay.
on the agenda, we can take care of that on the 14th. That morning or whatever.
Because the 15th, I don't know, what time does KAC's, does that usually start at noon on the,
First day is usually noon, isn't it?
I think it's this year. It's a little different. I think it starts at 9.
oh,
Oh,
really?
really? So you guys going down the night before, then I take it?
No, I wouldn't. I'd go down
The day of.
the day of.
Yeah.
It'll have to be an early morning.
Okay, Pat, who will we have to notify to get some kind of webinar on open books? Eberlin, what's his name?
Nathan,
Nathan, will we have to get a hold of him to put something together, or?
on the open records?
Yes.
Well, we recorded a presentation that Melissa Wangerman with KAC.
I see,
did.
we already have that.
Yeah, we had her permission to record it.
Okay.
And to re-show it,
Okay.
so. I will give some thought to if we're going to do one on open meetings as well. On,
Yeah, but that won't really have nothing to do with department heads, will it? Or, well, I guess they have some.
no, you're right, that wouldn't.
They have some confidentiality, but not that much to have them attend that.
Not on open meetings, you're right.
No. So we then got it tentatively set up for November the 1st, so do we need to, well, we haven't noted any department heads yet, so, or we changed the meeting matter, subject matter.
Whether seasonality go. It's like temperature. So it shows you like, yeah, so red is warmer or the hottest, and then it's just like movement. It's the jet stream. Current flow. It shows you all around the world. Should see this. I don't even know if it's still there.
Do we notify any department heads and see if they want to come in and discuss anything? You know, basically 10 to 2.
It should
Yeah.
show up. There's
I don't know if we get anybody
It's probably
that
somewhere
would
around.
want to come in, but
13.
Say it would just be treasurer or register of deeds or appraiser.
yep.
Seasonality go. It's really good.
We just don't want to sit here too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you want me to go ask if there's anything?
Do you think, you want to see if any department heads would like to come in and have any matters they would like to discuss, because it's 2 o'clock and we're basically done what's on the agenda.
Yeah. Well, I would assume if they needed to discuss something, they would have been in here by now, but we can if there's anything we need to go over.
I'll just make a quick run and see if there's
All right.
anybody else in here.
We get all the bills. Oh,
You want to look what he's looking
just,
through?
yeah, hand me the summary ones.
You getting ready for the election, Linda?
Yep. I'm working on the envelopes for the advanced right now. I got the ones done for the ones that have called in, the mail out ballots, and then Bree's working on the people that are permanent. Yes, it's gonna be here before we know it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard any feedback about the insurance things?
No, I really have. Well, I've heard a couple things on how they put the lower deductible on the HSA, but that's all I've heard anything about it. I mean, people have been not really talking about much. They do like that new plan.
County Councilor, if we did have department heads come in, that would probably be executive session.
Probably not, unless you're gonna talk about their personnel.
Well, we don't know what they talk about. I mean, once they start talking,
True.
you know, we don't know what they want to talk about. Maybe
True.
none of them will want to come in, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Hello, gentlemen and lady.
Hello?
Thank you for coming. Is there anything that you would like to discuss that might be executive session?
No.
Okay. Huh? It might if she had personnel or something. We got a light day today, so we're trying to kind of add to it so we don't look like we're cutting out
We're going to
of it.
have a meeting with the city about finalizing our application form for the neighborhood revitalization. There's a form that taxpayers will fill out when they apply for the exemption. Kind of looked over that today.
I think that goes in effect, what, 15th,
Saturday, I think, doesn't it?
16th?
You're just finalizing the form, you're saying? Like
The application form.
Mhm.
We hadn't met with them in a long time to discuss it. And we had our part to do to finalize that form. So we thought we'd better call them and make sure that we had everything on there that needed to be on there. So we're doing that Thursday. The PVD people came over yesterday to make sure that we're doing our elevators right. Whenever they put out a guide, an appraisal guide, we're supposed to follow their guide. So I'm trying to do that with the elevators. And they looked at what we had so far and said it was looking good and carry on. So trying to get those finalized. We don't have that many licensed elevators. 3 of them are licensed through the USDA, and about 5 of them are licensed through the state. So not too many. Of
Just when there's licensed to one or the other, does that make any difference to you? I mean, as far as criteria of how they're evaluated, or does that make anything
No.
different? Or just-
No, we just get the information from different sources. We
Okay.
have to send an open records request to the United States Department of Ag to get the bin charts that give us the bushel capacity and that type of thing that we need in order to value them. And then we kind of go step by step through the process that PBD sets out for us. And they have the Marshall Swift values based on the bushel sizing. Is it a concrete or is it steel? That type of thing. How many bushels? And then they also have comparable sales for us to look at and compare to. But some of them, like the larger, like Bungie has nearly 11 million bushel capacity. There doesn't seem to be any sales throughout the state that has that many bushel capacity. So we just find the largest cells we can find, and then as far as a comparable sales approach goes, we would adjust the sell price downward because due to size, it just wouldn't sell for as much per bushel on that large of a facility. And then I've been making some phone calls to some of the other counties that have really large elevators to find out what they have theirs on at. Like Great Bend has some large ones, and Reno and Shawnee. So, Reno isn't finished with theirs yet. Shawnee's still working on theirs. But I did get a lot of good information out of Barton County and their large elevators. And the value that I came up with for Bungie was just right in line with Barton County's elevator values.
Wyandotte County would too.
Hmm?
Wyandotte County,
Haven't checked with them, but they have some large.
they'd have several, yeah.
Kathy Blaine that
I know earlier you said you were busy this time of year.
Yeah, it's the time of year, our quarterly report is due the 15th. That kind of sets out where we are in our different phases. And we have our land values that are supposed to be at least started by the first quarterly report. And in order to get our land value analysis finished, we needed to have all of our sales in, and we're just getting to the point where we're getting all of our valid sales queued in. So really going to be pushing it to say that, yes, that part is done. So I want that to, there's always that kind of thing. Sales is an ongoing process as they come in. We have to go out and make sure that it's a valid sale and make sure that all the data we have for the property is accurate.
But on sales, that really doesn't have that big an effect on crop ground, does it? I mean, if you're just talking about ag land, or are you talking about
All land,
Oh.
I'm talking about all land. We have to do
Commercial and-
sales analysis for our
commercial? Yeah.
commercial and our residential.
I was thinking just ag, which,
No, we don't really value ag land. We
Mhm.
make sure we have it listed right, but the state is the one that provides us with
Land
values.
use.
Mhm,
Sets
yeah,
out.
it's, land use. Have you had many requests for, I know we talked about this earlier, about the land that was categorized as, it was waste ground at one time, and then it was, categorized as other, which threw it into a higher.
Yeah.
Has there been many, like, appeals or anything on that?
No, we have actually redid all of that.
Oh.
Because it was partially, part of the county had been cleaned up, I guess, from that mess.
Mm.
And that's something that between Roger and I, we've been working on getting all of that cleaned up to where we follow PDD guidelines and what we consider waste and what we don't consider waste. And just for the 2017 tax year, we've uploaded all of those changes we made in GIS into Orion. So when we send out value notices for January 1 of 2017, it will reflect those changes that we made to the ag layer in cleaning up that.
Okay.
Because I think most of those other class got changed back to an ag class, but we had some cleanup work to do in making sure that what really is waste is called waste and what isn't is not.
Okay.
Those cleanup.
Very good.
Seems like there's lots of stuff. There's a Orion user meeting in Wichita on the 21st, and that's just to give us updates to all the changes to our Canvas software that's coming down the pike. We're always changing things. It's a little bit of a learning curve just to keep up. What else is
You plan on attending that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's November 3rd. The 21st is the Northeast County.
Kansas County.
Yeah. Some of you going to that, the Northeast.
Oh, KAC?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Northeast Kansas,
County
This is
officials.
something different.
yeah, county officials meeting. That's in Oskaloosa on the 21st. And then November 3rd is the Orion user, kind of a one-day user conference on the
Didn't you say you had something like the 15th, 16th? Because originally you were going to go to the KAC and then.
It's a class on income approach. I sent out some questionnaires to try to get income value on properties that are rented, commercial properties. I sent out restaurants and mini storage and apartments. And the class really is to help me to understand what all I can do with that data that I've collected. And Debbie's coming along too, because she needs to learn how to do commercial. And I've been kind of teaching her some of the commercial, like with the elevators. She said in the PVD to learn how to do the elevators too. It's always good when there's not just one person that knows how to do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what that class is for. It's income approach and analysis, income approach and analysis.
Pat, this is kind of a question about personnel, but I don't think it's executive session personnel. With Michelle getting elected county clerk, she probably needs to start maybe spending one day a week up here, and then you're going to bring the Pruitt girl, or she used to be a Pruitt, up.
Right.
Are you going to need some, or you're going to bring someone up? Will you need somebody to fulfill that position, whoever you send up to take Michelle's position?
Yes, definitely. I definitely will need to fill, if the, Amanda's been taking some classes on personal property, and she has kind of been Michelle's backup all along when Michelle's not here, when somebody comes in with personal property form or whatever. But if that's the way that works out, that she gets Michelle's job, I'm definitely going to need to have somebody to take that spot. For sure.
Well, you need that person sooner than January 1. If Michelle, say, starts 1 day, 2 days a week, kind of learning the clerk, so she got some knowledge.
The sooner the better, just to get the training she can get from Amanda. It's always good to get more time to train. And just spread the training around. I mean, Amanda's going to need a lot of training from Michelle, and just to have her in the courthouse would probably be a benefit. And I told Michelle that she's going to be spending some time that's not yet at the clerk's office. It's kind of on my dime. I said, but I kind of think of it as all a good thing, because I'm going to probably be needing her, especially during times when we're trying to get valuation notices out for personal property. I'm probably going to need her help, because Amanda hasn't been through that process, or whoever gets that job. And so I figure we just all help each other to make the county process run smoother, and that we're all working.
Well, I would
I
say
love that.
I would say that you're going to take the lead role, because it affects your department. You got one leaving, one moving, and you need to add somebody to fulfill. So you're probably going to have to take the lead on this.
And I figured that because Michelle hasn't officially been elected to the position of
That's true,
clerk,
that's
that
true.
I probably shouldn't make any moves until that happens.
You'd probably
That's
technically
true.
have to post
Yeah.
for the position, so I mean, there's a
Yeah.
process that you have to do to.
But I think it's a
Little
good thing to be
personal policy.
thinking of these scenarios through.
She has no
And so,
opposition.
because
but
there's
it's
really not that
right.
much time
Right.
after the election there. I mean, we're talking about 2 months, and everybody's going to have to be in a position to move. So,
And I hope to be able to post right away. I know there will be an overlap there where I'll be paying somebody, but I think we can do that. We can do that. Paying for 2 positions, you know what I mean? But I hope to be able to do that as soon as the election happens, to start advertising for the position that I'm going to need. We'll advertise for Michelle's position and then for Amanda's position, if that's the way that works out. Because the more training I can get for everybody, just the smoother it will.
I know, I love hearing the fact that, like you said, to work all together, it's all county. And, I mean, if it's
We're all-
given leeway, I mean, I would be willing to, help ease into that as much as possible, if, whatever we can do, because it's all county money. We're gonna need to get these positions filled and filled with, you know, and trained well, quickly, so.
Because it's not fair for her to take all this out of her budget. Where could we take some budget for this, let's call it part-time person till,
Well,
It's
like an
possible
overlap.
that the money's there because, you know, there was the pay period, actually, it's possible that the money's there. I think from my conversations with
Jamie,
I think we're gonna be okay, or if not, I think there's other money in other places that we can figure out.
About how much of an overlap do you think it would be? I mean, if we would, you know, if we would hire the new person, but everybody's stepping up, I mean, are you talking 2 weeks, you talking a month, or what?
I would think a month at the most, because by the time you hire, and then the person has to give 2 weeks notice,
And then-
and all of that,
Mhm.
that process does take some time. November 8th is the election.
I'm just saying, it'd be nice to have at least 2 weeks, but I can't see it hardly being more than a month.
Right, I can't see it being too much more than a month at the most.
Okay. You just have to kind of pre-think these things, or we can get away from them.
That's true.
Okay. I can't think of anything more.
Have you had your small claims hearing?
On the Contago?
Yeah.
No, but the gentleman that
I
owns the
never heard that.
building, they're Contago huts if they have a Pizza Hut attached. But the gentleman that owns the building did give me a call and asked if I had had a chance to look over the appraisal. And I told him that I did and that I didn't agree with it. I said I didn't agree with the,
I don't think we wanted you to lay out your thoughts to us. We were just curious.
well, I just, I think he was hoping that I would be willing to stipulate to a value based on the fee appraisal. But I told him that I was not, and that we would have to wait for the small claims hearing. So, that hasn't happened yet. It hasn't been
That's the
scheduled or
only department
rescheduled.
you
It
ask,
hasn't
or you
been
ask
scheduled yet.
treasurer?
I don't know.
Treasurer was on the phone, so I didn't get a chance to ask her.
Keep up the good work, we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming up on short notice.
Thank you.
Should we see if Sheila's available? I guess.
Just tell her we got a light schedule, if there's anything she'd like to discuss in open session. Has Michelle been over to the clerk's office any, looking around? I mean, just asking where this is or that is, or?
A little bit, and she said that, Pauline told her to come over.
Well, Pauline come up earlier and she kind of emphasized that she thinks it'd be important if Michelle started coming over a little bit.
I mean, it's great.
Yes, if she's willing to do it, yes. And then she may change, but she should start out doing like it's been done. Then she might come up with something, well, why do we do it this way? Why, you know?
No dice.
She has nothing.
She don't have anything.
All right, what's your fancy, Commissioners? 2:15, adjourn?
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn at 2:15.
Second. Or,
So moved.
First,
Sorry.
second, okay.
that's what.
All those in favor say aye.
Thought I said-
Aye.
Okay, he's
First.
in motion, and he
Yeah.
seconded.
Yes.
You
Shut the camera off.
hold it.
Okay.
Now I can't see what that says.
Be careful when you write that in.
Still got a picture of 4 good-looking guys and a pretty lady.
Yeah, but I can't see. what that- Are you sure you
Well, I didn't even get a comment out of that.
Are you sure you want to?
Did you close it down?
Are you sure
Start the
you
stream?
want to do something?
That thing may have quit because now it says stop.
Say
Now it
yes.
says start.
Yes.
Does that say stop recording?
Start the session.
Over there where my arrow's at, does that say stop recording?
The blue lights to the camera's still on.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you sure you want to start the
Oh.
stream? So, no.
No.
I don't think.
Put the arrow on Pat and click it and see what it does.
Do what?
Put the arrow on Pat and click it and see what it does. Take away his sunburn.
Yeah, it's all falling off today. Need a wire brush when I get home.
I guess we just shut everything down, huh? I don't know.
OBS is currently active. All streams, recordings will be shut down. Are you sure you wish to exit? I would say yes.